All right, and welcome back to the channel. This is Drew, and this is truly an extension of the video that I just did. And what I've done is I've installed Debian Bullseye minimal and set up a ZRAM swap partition. Okay, so if you didn't watch the first video, I'm going to go and just say, show you that this is Debian Bullseye, and let's say I want to show what the kernel is, and that's 5.10.0.0-14. So it's the long-term release. So the only thing that I need to do to install, because what I've done is I've written a script to do the installation of i3-gaps. Okay. So I'm going to install Git as the only thing that I need for right now. Okay. And once that's complete, I'll show you what the scripts actually do. Okay. So I'm going to say git clone https github.com/drewgriff and i3-gaps Debian -Debian. Okay. And let's go into the i3-gaps Debian directory and show you that there are 3 scripts. Okay. The most important one is the install script. Okay. And so what I want to do is show you the install script by typing nano install.sh. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're basically installing a bunch of stuff and making it automated. So the script, what it does is installs the XOR group, then goes down and installs Python 3-pip. Most people need Build Essential. Python 3-pip includes Build Essentials, so we don't need to also install Build Essentials because it already comes with Python 3-pip. This is an Intel machine, so I'm just going to leave this uncommented. If you have AMD, you want to comment this and uncomment the AMD microcode. I'm going to install the network manager, the GNOME network manager. I'm also going to install LX Appearance. And in the file manager section, this is kind of a choice. Some people love Crusader, like Matt from Linux Cast loves Crusader. But I am installing Thunor by choice, and I'm also installing the XFCE4 settings and Ranger. If you want to really light, you can install PCManFM, but what I've found is that Thunor and PCManFM are really close in resources, so I'm choosing Thunor. As far as file tools, I am installing these because I have a NAS server in my house, and in order for it to kind of connect and do well, I need all of these packages, and then I enable the Avahe daemon and ACPID. I'm installing Kitty. This is kind of new for me. I don't normally use Kitty, but I found that it's pretty good. It's not the most lightest terminal there is, but I think as far as like customization and stuff, it's not too bad. I typically would use actually the XFCE4 terminal. I think it's really light and really easy for me. So, but I'm going to install Kitty in this particular scenario. I'm installing all the sound packages, and I'm using Pulse Audio to do it. Okay, NeoFetch and HTOP. I like EXA. Maybe we'll talk about that later. And then I'm going to install Cups and Bluetooth, or Blues and Bluesman. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and comment this out, because from a video perspective, I don't need the time it takes to install a couple things that don't need to be installed for video. So I'm going to install the Firefox for ESR, Fe, and if you want to use nitrogen, it's there. All you have to do is uncomment that. Now here is all the packages you need for i3-gaps, with the exception of two. I might go all the way to the end and show that. As you can see, this is a ton of packages. Okay, so I'm installing i3-status so that if you do choose not to use my configuration, i3-status will be there for you to just set up a brand new install. These two packages, this PAM0 G dev and XKB dev, these are necessary for the live console manager. Maybe I should break those out, but from my perspective, I was just going to install all of these packages. It doesn't hurt to have these two packages, extra packages in, okay? I am installing dmenu sxhkd for key bindings, Rofi and Dunst. I'm also installing Unzip and Genie and PyCom, and I am going to go ahead and, like I said, I don't need a scanner right now, but I do need the GVFS backends. But for me, I am installing Vim. I'm installing these fonts. I'm setting up this command here creates your user folders, and then this part of the script here installs i3-gaps, and this part of the script here installs the live console manager to, basically it's a login manager. If you don't like this, I love it, but it doesn't play that great with ultra wide displays. So if you want, you could just comment these out, and you might want to just uncomment these light DM commands. Okay. This part of the script actually installs a i3 desktop file to the X-Sessions directory so that you can choose in lie the i3 desktop. And that is the end of the default configuration. So I'm leaving these in as, and if you don't want them, just comment this out. So I install a bunch of nerd fonts, and I install my configuration files. If you don't want my configuration, comment. If you don't want nerd fonts, comment. Okay? And then that is it. Okay. Let me show you one thing. I'm going to go Control O because I did do some. I did do a couple things in this file. Control O to save it. Control X, and let's go ahead and look at the nerd fonts file. Script real quick. So let's go nano. Gee whiz. And what it's doing is it's creating a folder in the local share called fonts, and then it's downloading all of these nerd fonts and then putting them and unzipping them in the right spot, and then it's running fccache. It's just a simple loop, goes out, gets this list of 9 nerd fonts, and then if you don't want a few of them, just remove them from the list. That's all you have to do, and then it runs, like I said, it runs automatically. Actually, I don't think I changed anything, so I'm just going to go hit Control Q. Did I change anything? Or Control X is what I should have done. Sorry. Control X. All right. One more thing to look at real quick. Nano, and then that's the, oh no, I don't want to do that. Nano copyconf.sh, okay? It's installing a Bumblebee-status for my status bar, and there's a part of the Bumblebee status that needs aptitude. And then it's installing my background images, my configuration for Bumblebee status, my i3 configuration, my NeoFetch, Rofi, Kitty, and it's also putting auto start and it's making that file executable. Okay, and that's all it does. If, like I said, if you don't want my configuration, comment out the install.sh, the bottom line where it says copyconf. Okay. All right. So let's go. I think we're ready, and we're going to go install sh. And it's going to start, like I said, installing the Xorg group. As I've said in the previous video, this is not a virtual machine. This is actual hardware that it's installing on. I'm not slowing down or doing anything to edit the video. For the most part, I think it's just going to run live. Okay, installing the microcode now for Intel. Just one section ago, it actually did, like I was telling you before, it did a build essential install plus Python, pip. And installing Kitty and the sound packages. As I said before, this script was designed for me to install or reinstall something really quickly. I'm a big believer in i3-gaps. Especially on my ultra-wide display. I think for whatever reason, I tend to like it more than some of the other tiling window managers. Although I've been kind of reliving going through and using DWM, so that might be a video I do in the very near future as far as how to install DWM, or at least, I mean, DWM is not hard to install, but doing the patches and stuff like that is a little bit challenging. Okay, we're installing i3-gaps, boom, really quickly, and then it installs Lie console manager, and there it goes. That's right there is where it changes into that kind of optional. What it's doing right now is it's installing that nerdfont shell script. So it's taking that shell script and it's using it, so you don't actually have to do it separately. If you want to, like I said, you just comment out the nerdfonts line in the install script. And we're going to almost be done after this. And that is all. Boom. So we just installed a custom configuration of i3-gaps with a bunch of nerd fonts, and we did it in one command. All right, so what are we going to do now? We're going to sudo reboot. So we're going to be greeted by the Li console manager. There's grub. And there it is. And it automatically says i3. And if you want, you can go to shell, but i3 is where we want to go. And I'm going to type in my user and password. And there is my configuration for i3-gaps using, up here, this is Bumblebee-status. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. I'm going to hit super enter, and this is kitty. And I'm going to go ahead and do nano.bash rc. And I installed exa in the install, and so what I want to do is show you how much, I mean, I love it. I think it's really cool. But I'm going to go to the alias ls section of the bash script, bash rc, and type exa-al, okay, and then space -- header, -- long. And then I want color to be equal to always. And one more, -- group directories first. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and type in neofetch and hit Control O, enter, Control X. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit Super Shift C. Super Shift C to close. These are my key bindings, and I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay. So now when I hit Super Enter, it shows neofetch, and when I type ls, it shows exa with permission, size, user, date, blah blah blah. Okay. And now what I want to do is we're going to go super F. Okay, so super F is F for file, super F for Thunar. Okay, and I'm going to go up to here and say show hidden files. And here's configure.config. So we see that backgrounds, Bumblebee-status, i3, kitty, neofetch, all of this stuff here was brought in to make things my configuration for i3. So if I hit super spacebar, so I'm going to hold the super key down and hit spacebar, that is my Rofi. So I can type Firefox, for example. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to select it, but you get the idea. You just hit enter, and then Firefox starts up. Why don't I show you this real quick, okay? This is the auto start. I'm going to go ahead and hit Super Shift C, and then just hit Super F because I want to go back to the i3 and say open with Genie, okay? And this is the auto start. It's using Fay for the background. It's using the GNOME poll kit. It starts out, because I like the number lock on. I do. It's just like a thing that I have. It's something like I have to have. And then nm applet, which is this right here. And then volume icon, which is this right here. And Dunst and sxhkd. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? In the same i3 directory in the config, sxhkd is there, and I'm going to go ahead and say open with Genie. Notice that it's super return is kitty, super space, Rofi, super p, which is super p, is D menu, okay? Super shift Q would be to exit. Ranger, I mean, I don't have Google Chrome installed, so you know, this is free, but super F for Thunar, super E for editor, Genie, and so on, okay? Including super W. So I'm going to go super 2 to change workspaces, and then hit super W, and there's Firefox. So if I want to hit super 1, super 2, super 1, 2 different workspaces, okay? All right, that should do it for right now. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see if I can help. All right, thanks.